Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on to one of our semifinal matches here in the upper bracket. It's going to be Rutgers University facing off against Austin. And now, once again, our top four from the original TCS Overwatch season making names here. So yeah, Rutgers University had a great first game of the day, and now they're facing off against Austin. I am Jamerson, joined once again by Seamus. Seamus, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, James, and this matchup is not actually what we saw in the Tespa Collegiate Series, because it's the East versus the Southern region. But I'm really curious to see how they
sides of the bracket.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how they match up.
This is going to be really interesting, but Scarlet Knights, Rutgers, they looked really good when they were running that dive composition, especially on their defense on Route 66. I don't know if you were able to see that at all or watch that at all. That was before you joined us for the broadcast, but you know, they were doing the whole selfless rogue type of defense there initially, and they were able to hold Berkeley, full hold, and not even let them get the first checkpoint.
Yep, and I will say, I mean, this is, of course, a collegiate broadcast. In terms of the player mentality, they are memeing in all chat, and it seems like they are ready to go. We've been pretty fortunate, James, in terms of, like, having been able to meet these players in the past and hang out with them and stuff. And one of the things I really like about, you know, collegiate players in general, and just a lot of people who play this game are young adults, is how fun and outgoing they are. Or if you would like to use another word, how troll they are. It makes for interesting conversations, interesting spam in Twitch chat, and it's certainly very interesting games of Overwatch.
Yeah, so these teams, a bit different from when we were initially introduced to them, right? It looks like Insane stepped in on the side of Rutgers, and on the side of Austin, one of their newer additions is going to be Excellent coming on in, but still the core teams relatively the same.
Yeah, and with a name like Excellent, James, you know, big expectations there. Seriously though, it's like looking back at the Tespa Collegiate Series in general and all the competitions we've seen of Overwatch Collegiate at the Overwatch Collegiate level, like players like Tchaikovsky and Otter and Water have been sort of mainstays from week one, and with that, there's a lot of things that we have come to expect from these players, such as Tchaikovsky's excellent Pharah. It'd be pretty interesting to see if he brings it out here on Dorado, but, you know, that might actually be the case. Dorado has been a map generally where you can see some kind of offbeat strats like Junkrat or even Symmetra as well. But at least in my experience, I've seen more teams gravitate to kind of standard compositions, either that dive defense or you're stacking a couple of tanks. But it does look like it's going to be a more dive-oriented defense coming out of Rutgers here.
Yeah, 2-2-2 coming out for them. It's going to be GT Fu on Genji and Chicken and Waffles once again on the Soldier 76. Ikogo picking up the Diva and Lefty on the Winston. He was doing a really fantastic job in that Berkeley series, just creating so much space with the help of GT Fu, who was playing Tracer beforehand. But I'm excited to see what he can do with this new Sentai Genji here. On the side of Asuna, they're still hovering over their picks. Looks like they are going to be going with Zenyatta and Lucio, so heavily expecting a dive composition for them.
Yeah, you mentioned the Sentai Genji. I also just want to let you guys know that a couple of the players are talking, if I'm not mistaken, Haikyuu, and who's the best player. Anyway, back to Overwatch. Talnora taking a lot of damage. They tried to go for the dive there, but Lefty and GT2 were basically able to push them off. So if Ikogo gets out alive here without being DMAX, oops. As good as I say that. Still a trade, though.
One trade. Yes, 2-for-1 now as Talnora is able to get onto the high ground and force down because he's dead. But now they're just cleaning house here. Excellent coming in, getting the kill off the GT Fu, and now they're going to make their way towards this choke point.
Some miscommunication there from the dive defense. As soon as Genji, Winston were trying to back up, we saw Diva go in, and so she was instantly demacked, taken down, and that makes it very hard to sustain that defense. Dive defense is very effective because you buy time even if you lose it, but it's actually difficult to successfully hold, if that makes sense.
Now, triple DPS dive versus 222 dive. It's Ikogo once again, registrating the first member down on the side of Austin, but it is a 1-for-1 trade as Chicken Waffles is gonna go ahead and meet his maker, Otter and Water, who tries his best to keep it alive, but GT Fu and Nintendo coming in with 2 frags of their own and be able to reestablish their defense here and force back Austin.
Otter doing the best he can to win that team fight. However, it started off so strong from the defense. Rutgers was able to instantly jump the enemies in Yada, which means that it was an instant 65. Your support is dead. Your Discord orb user is dead. And that just makes it such a hard fight to sustain. Now, Rutgers is actually in a really great position, too, because they're going to be very close to a lot of ultimates. They're currently defending, but the fight is going to break out.
Lefty and GT Fu once again in the back line, drawing everyone back. It's a 1-for-1 trade, make them 2-for-1. Both supports going down, but Talnori has a Dragon Blade. He got 1 kill. Now he's on the hunt for more, and it's going to be Excellent that comes in with that Primal Rage, gets a kill off the Chicken and Waffles, and just like that, it's done and dusted. The defense is gone. They'll be able to get this checkpoint.
Fantastic offense there, Talnori. Amazing Dragon Blade, and you saw all the dive pressure that Rutgers was receiving meant that they couldn't actually track Tchaikovsky's fire very well, and he was just raining down rockets without any reprieve. So now the offense is going to continue pushing forward. They're maybe going to try and boop the defense off. Tchaikovsky gets taken down, so it bites off a little bit more than he can chew, and the defense is going to capitalize.
Well, Techno Visor getting committed on the side, or actually just ready to be used by Chicken and Waffles. And this is going to be a great defense for the side of Rutgers University. They have all 6 ultimates in tow.
A bit of a fake out there with that voice line. Pressing the, letting us know that he has Tac Visor, and now, like you said, all 6 ultimates up. Tchaikovsky is likely to go down. And I'm really curious to see how the defense is going to be set up here, because it's actually not super great to position. There's no like real area. There's no high ground unless you go farther back. But teams like Selfless and Rogue have pioneered this really in-your-face, stay on the payload, spawn camping defense, and that might actually be what Rutgers attempt to do here.
Yeah. Austin currently have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get through this phase of Dorado. Transcendence is going to get popped along the side of Austin, but there we go. Both support ultimates now out on the side of UT Austin. They haven't gotten a kill off of it quite yet, though. They still have so many ultimates on the side of Rutgers.
Oh my goodness, Rutgers coming back and taking this fight. That Transcendence started early, but then Nintendo was actually in a bad position, but they don't even need it. They're going to use the Sound Barrier, and they're committing a lot of ults for the Chamberson, but they are wasting so much time, and they're also going to be able to win this team fight. You know, it's that battle of position versus time versus ultimate resources, and in this case, they're maintaining position. They're draining the time that the offense has remaining, so even though they're using ultimates for James, it's absolutely worth.
Yeah, the payload has so much more distance to cover that they'll be able to get a full round of another ultimates to come out. Self-destruction actually forces back the side of Austin for just a moment, but Otter and Water getting the kill. That's gonna be the 65. Now Primal Rage comes out from Excellent. He's on top of the support. The Zenyatta gets focused down. Nintendo is gonna fall. And now it looks like they might have broken the defense of Rutgers.
Yeah, they're able to break it up. Excellent is taking a little bit of damage here, but he's going to be backed up by Otter and Water. Still gets taken down. The Pulse Bomb is not going to connect. So a little bit of a sloppy ending there, but overall that team fight started really well. Excellent's going to be able to respawn, so it's actually not that big of a deal. And the Pulse Bomb is the fastest target in the game. Wow, Talnori's going to go in with the Dragon Blade, finds the first frag, looking for more. Discord is though might need to play safely here, and will get taken down. So, James, I'm not sure about fighting when you've already lost one hero on your team, and it looks like Rutgers might be able to punish that.
Yeah. This is, you know, a style that you had mentioned earlier. We saw heavily coming up from Rogue, along with Selfless. They've got, you know, the star power behind it to be able to just fight into these 4v5s, 4v6s, and still win. Like if you look at like DeFran and Sinatra, but wasn't able to happen here quite yet, as Payload still hasn't made it into this archway quite yet. Pulse Bomb not connected, but the Sound Barrier does come out on the side of Austin. In kind, though, they will answer with that Transcendence for Rutgers. Now both support ultimates out on the side of Austin.
And Sound Barrier answered by Transcendence, answered by another one, but then it's the attack visor that comes in, finds a lot of frag. But GT Fu is saying, I'm not going to let you guys take that fight that easily. Finding 2 frags and looking for more. Now it's a 3v3 on the point. GT Fu finally gets taken down. It's only tanks. That being said, though, a Winston and a D.Va can actually do a decent amount of DPS. The question is, can they kill Otter and Water? If they get that Tracer, they can restabilize, but if they can't, it's going to be hard.
Down barrier comes out, connects onto 3. They're just trying to delay as long as they can. There's only 20 on the clock. The payload slowly inching forward with 1 member on there. Primal Rage coming out from Excellent forces everyone out of position, but as they back off and retreat, they're able to get that kill. They're gonna have the respawn advantage on the side of the on the side of the defense here. Self-destruct comes on now. Will it catch out anyone? It does. Scott goes down.
And Otter and Water is still raining chaos on the defense. Finally gets taken down by Nintendo, so it looks like Rutgers is going to be able to stabilize. But that being said, it's an overtime. Tchaikovsky is the only member remaining. Excellent can touch the payload, but he's going to be 1v6 and might not even make it in time. And that is going to be the round. So overall, a quick take on that point 1, to be honest, but a fantastic hold on point 2. Rutgers with a firm advantage in this match.
Yeah, we really got to see the strength of being able to establish high ground so easily on the side of defense. That's what you want, right? When you have the high ground, you're able to gain that extra amount of vision that allows you to pick out whatever target you want to go on top of. You know, GT Fu had all the information in the world to decide who he was going to jump onto in the back line on that Tracer over and over again.
Yeah, both Tracers honestly were performing very well, and that's really what you see in the current metagame with how many dive compositions, how many distracting heroes there are that just bum rush the supports, bum rush the squishies, try to get positioning and just get that flanking kill. It's really an opportunity for these ace Tracer players to shine because they're just going to be uncontested. They can blink around, they can recall if they have to keep themselves alive, and they do quite a bit of damage with her rifles. So, or I should say pistol, technically. Man, both GT2 and Otter, like, if I had to compare the two, I don't really know who performed better than them. All I know is that, or that round, both of them did really, really well on Tracer, but overall, it was a strong defense by Rutgers.
So now Austin on the defense. They're gonna go for that 2-2-2 dive. We like to call it the Korean style, popularized over there in OG and Apex with Winston D.Va,
yep.
And the Genji and Tracer.
Yeah, the Korean adaptation is really the D.Va is something that they value incredibly highly, and it's starting to come into effect in NA as well, and just the Western Overwatch atmosphere. Now, interestingly enough, it's a supports Zenyatta and Ana for the defense. I actually really like the setup, but it's very vulnerable, so they need to make sure the supports stay alive.
Yeah, and so we're getting a quasi-rogue setup coming out now as GT Fu finds the first kill onto Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, the defense isn't diving as well as they may like to. That being said, though, Excellent gets the D.Va out of the mech, Otter and Water with a awesome kill onto the enemy Tracer. It means they have the pressure here, but still, it's an offensive spot. The attacking team will be coming much, much faster in terms of reinforcements.
Insane dropped really low, down to 2 bars, and he was actually also bio-nated, but he was able to make the safety. Right now, the offense finally starts to strike back as GT Fu takes out Talnori, but in the back line, Excellent jumping on top. Tchaikovsky gets the kill onto Chicken and Waffles, and he's looking for more.
The great thing about these dive compositions is no matter what hero is making the dive, sometimes you don't actually need to get the kill. All you have to do is distract and zone. In that fight, we saw each of the defending heroes continuously zone 3 to 4 members and then swap off when they were low. Swap off to chase them and to get the kill. It was very well executed, and now University of Texas Austin still are controlling the point with a lot of ultimates too. They're driving the supports though.
Yeah, Nano Boost comes out onto Excellent. He's right on top of Soul Chicken and Waffles, forced all the way back into spawn during that time. The lefty! It's 2 kills onto both supports of Austin. Finds a third, taking out Tchaikovsky. This man is on a mission.
Very smartly done by Rutgers, establishing their win condition. They wanted to dive the 2 vulnerable supports without any mobility, without really strong kills, and that's exactly what they did. Regiciding died before he was able to build Transcendence. Scott soon followed afterwards, and you saw Lefty go monkey all over the defending team. Now, that monkey is I guess I should say a scientist or an ape, but he's certainly going bananas.
He is definitely going bananas with that Primal Rage. He's just forcing everyone back to try and deal with him. Transcendence comes out from Austin here, and Otter getting the kill onto Chicken and Waffles is going to allow the defense to come back in and contest, just meters away from the end of the checkpoint.
So registrating Transcendence there was huge, and they're actually going to be able to defend the point here unless Lefty has anything to say about it. He already got 2 frags, but he's basically all alone. GT Fu is trying to do what he can, but the payload wasn't able to be pushed all the way. And Jamerson, that's the strength of that dive defense. You hold up so close, you have you'd like have enough time to come back, regroup, and then just take a 6v16 fight with your ultimate advantage. And that's exactly what Texas did. And now it's about 80 seconds, 1 minute left, one real team fight. What could Rutgers do?
But this is a good team fight for Rutgers. They've got the tactical advisor. They didn't force out Talnori's mech though, so that was a pretty big blunder. But despite that, Chicken and Waffles finds 2 kills. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Sound Barrier comes out. Rutgers continue to push forward as GT Flu finally demechs Talnori, but the Primal Rage is there to try and stall for as long as Excellent can. He does finally fall, and with that, Otter and Water is the final remaining member here trying to contest. Registrating jumps on a little bit too late, and he's gonna die for his efforts.
Yeah, so the Diva wasn't taken down when the tactical visor was used. However, the Matrix was down, it seemed, as Chicken Waffles were able to find so many frags opening up that fight. So the payload is completed, or made it to the checkpoint at least. And now, honestly, to complete the map, Jamerson, it's not that far of a distance.
Not at all, but the ultimates all in favor of Austin at this point. They're working their way towards that Nano Blade. Lefty jumping on top of Scott, though, and the backline is going to force back Excellent to try and deal with him. Lefty is able to escape and make it out with his life, but now the focus being put on to the side of Austin as Otter and Water has picked up 2 kills for himself.
Yeah, Otter and Water opened that up really well with the pulse bomb onto the enemy soldier, but I have to say, Lefty has been perfect in his execution. He knows exactly how far he can dive and when to back up. That being said, though, backing up is being done wholesale by Rutgers now because of Otter's initial 2 frags just completely pushed them back. And they're going to have to regroup, but they still have 2 minutes, which is enough time to get this here. That being said, Rutgers has a couple of ultimates, but Texas, they've got a lot.
Yeah, jumping into backline. Transcendence comes on out. Here's the self-destruct. It's not going to land on anybody, though, and that's going to allow GT Fu the time to get the kills onto Registrating Excellent. You really have to be careful when you go for those self-destructs. That leaves your entire team vulnerable, because without that Diva defense matrix, that allows GT Fu just to get onto the back line and get free damage off throughout the entirety.
Right, the utility of the defense matrix is so valuable for defending your team. However, if you're using an ultimate there aggressively to try and get a kill, it sometimes cannot pay off. Speaking of aggressive ultimates, it takes down Excellent shield and forces a trance, so it's very valuable.
That Transcendence does come out. Chicken and Waffles, as soon as that trance goes out, he's going to go ahead and pop that tactical visor. Found 1 kill into Registrating. Ikogo taking out Chalkowski, and now they are starting to crumble on the side of the defense. Excellent, the only one here really trying to contest the payload. Otter and Water try to play out from the distance, but that's not going to be enough. Primal Rage coming out from both Winston's. Excellent, trying his best to keep this alive. He's off the payload now. It's 1 meter away. He's not going to make it on time, and that is going to be Rutgers University taking the first map here.
And with time to spare, the coordination from Rutgers overall was fantastic to watch. You know, there were a couple of fights, and especially early on, they were having trouble, but every time they lost a team fight, they came back, established what exactly they had to do to win the next team fight, and executed.
Play of the match.
Even with Rutgers' window, it's Talnori with the play of the game. This was one of his earlier Genji plays. Just sets up, gets the first kill, gets the reset as well. Why didn't he use the ultimate? Nope, there we go. Just destroys the enemy backline. So we definitely saw some plays there from Tchaikovsky and the rest of the Austin squad, but they are now down 1 match in this best-of-3 series.
So it's going to be interesting to see where Austin want to take this for the next map. Rutgers looking phenomenal with their dive defense so far, but both teams utilizing it to great effect. I really liked what they were producing on the side of UT Austin when they were holding right outside the spawn gates. They were playing it just the way, you know, Rogue and everyone else does in the competitive pro scene. Winston and Diva just cycling out off on top of the rooftops, you know, going down, contesting, and then coming back up, allowing the other tank to go in and then back out, just going through those cooldowns.
Right, you want to cycle how you both attack and how you defend. When you have like a Winston with a Winston bubble available, you want to send him up, maybe shield, zone off the enemy, and as soon as his shield goes down, as soon as he starts taking damage, he wants to be able to either walk or shift back, and then you replace him with the Diva. Defense Matrix blocks it for 4 seconds or so, and then you send in the DPS heroes, and you keep cycling that, and even if you don't actually get the kills, it's all about pressure. It's all about that cart time. Now, if you have really strong coordination, which most of these teams at this level do, you get the situation where you're diving properly and you're sending multiple heroes to kill the enemy targets, and that's even better than just zoning them away.
Really, this competition, the Tespa Training Grounds Arena, such good practice for these teams because I know a lot of them are actually registered for Overwatch contenders. Yeah,
the collegiate players in terms of mechanical level and certainly SR are incredibly highly rated. They are at the at least a few of them are at the professional level and top 500 players, which is incredibly impressive because not only are they juggling being a top level player, but they're also juggling, of course, their studies. Now, that being said, James, it's summer right now, so what better time to grind as much Overwatch as you can and try and go far in Overwatch Contenders Season 0.
Yeah, school's out for summer. School is out for, well, not quite forever. A lot of these players are freshmen, so they still have like 3 more years left. But I'm super impressed by the amount that they've learned watching the pro scene. This level of coordination is actually very difficult to pull off, and we've seen you know, some of the tier 2, tier 3 NA teams really struggle to try and make the triple dive, the 2-2-2 dive composition on defense work out well. But they are really pulling it out, giving it their all here. So super excited to see what happens. It looks like we are going to Oasis for our second map, though, in this matchup.
So I guess the collegiate teams just really like Oasis then.
Oasis still like
what does that mean, James? What is that?
It's just Oasis is like trying to watch Oasis is like trying to watch Anubis, right? You have these long, drawn-out, extended team fights, both teams contesting forever, especially if it gets onto like City Center. You do, but let's just talk about like City Center. How long does it take to retake?
It depends. Like it really does. If the opponent's running like a Mercy or whatever and they have a Resurrect, then obviously, but like I don't think it's as if Oasis has longer stall times than some of the other maps. And I also think part of that is like legitimately due to how exactly do you prevent stall? And teams over time will get better at preventing stall. Like take Mercy as an example. Like, well, they haven't yet, of course, but that's like pioneering how the game is played. Like I'm seeing professional teams intentionally not kill targets after they kill the first one against teams with Mercy, so they can't get like a multi-mana res. Like adaptations like that and successfully completely wiping, they take time to develop, and you know it's influenced by the map, of course, and certainly Oasis does have some situations where you see a lot of long stalls, but it's also about the players and how they play the map.
So our teams thought school was out, but here we are back at university. Both teams hovering actually on triple tank compositions.
And they go through mid too, which is interesting. First hook on Tchaikovsky. Doesn't get a kill.
Lefty drops real low, so the first frag going on over to Austin. Chicken and Waffles does force the mech out of Tchaikovsky, though. They're still fighting over the point right now.
Yeah, but it's going to be worth for Austin because they got the kill for the mech. They'll take that trade any day. Now they also have pressure on the point. Otter Water finding the frag onto Chicken and Waffles.
Major DPS out, and Talnori finds a second kill onto GT Fu. Ikogo gonna go down to Scott, and they're gonna continue to force them back. And now Austin at 11%, and it's ticking up, and they're starting to build up these ultimates, and this is starting to look scary.
Scary indeed, Austin with firm control now. Excellent is on fire, has that Earth Shatter, so you can't really set up a flanking shatter here, but you can definitely just get a forward shatter, and if they break that shield of the Reinhardt, they can get a lot of members in these tight corridors. we'll see how they play it out.
Oh, Hook, or excuse me, Sleep Dart comes out onto Lefty, but he immediately gets woken up. Both teams just holding position here by the main entrance. They have to be careful. Hook does come out from GT Fu, narrowly missing, and now Excellent might be a little bit caught out. He's in the middle. He does have the backup of the rest of his team. The defense matrix trying their best to keep him alive, but Talnori does trade 1-for-1. Still, they haven't been able to make it onto the point quite yet, but Chicken and Waffles is able to hunt down Otter and Water over by the stairs.
Oh, a big graviton. 6 members forces out the sound barrier, and Chicken Waffles finds 2 frags. Nintendo gets a double kill with that Bionic Grenade. Wow, Bionic Grenade. I thought they nerfed the damage, but it looks like that's all they need to take the point and even get the graviton surge through that. So, very nicely done, James, and that honestly is going to be a great position for Rutgers to be in, even though Texas got so much time.
Seamless, they only used 1 ultimate
Exactly.
for that retake. They only used the sound barrier there, forcing out 3 on the side of Rutgers. Now, Rutgers going in for the retake, but Austin not going to make it easy as GT Fu gets the kill onto Excellent.
Obliterated by that right click, and here comes the graviton, answered by the blue team sound barrier as well. So Red deciding trying to keep his team alive, but everyone was pretty much dead by that point. Dead and gone, as Austin only needs to use 2 ultimates to win this next fight. So they're rotating their ultimates for each fight so efficiently.
Oh, I don't know why I got this so confused. Austin is blue.
Rutgers is red.
Rutgers is red. Yeah, they are the Scarlet. Yeah.
The Scarlet
Okay.
Knights are red, but they were blue team last round.
Yeah.
Just to confuse us. Anyway, look at this. Lefty setting up a sneak shatter, but obviously, yeah. Wait, they don't see him. Oh my God, he's gonna get it.
It only connects onto Otter and Water. There's a big biotic nade. They're able to transition into that 2 kills for them, and they continue to push forward on the side of Austin here. But Insane doesn't kill on the Regiciting. Will it be enough, though, taking out something sustained?
Yeah, Ana got booped into the middle of the map, so she was forced off. Lefty, meanwhile, had his nano boost, so he was able to finally find a frag, but the protection from Talnori was great, so actually now Austin is able to regain control of the point. And Jameson, you have to wonder, it was a brilliant idea. Oh, by Talnori. It was a brilliant idea from Lefty to go for the flanking shatter, but he only hit 1 person. I think he was just a little bit too late to pull the trigger.
Might have been booped a little bit into the air by the Lucio, but the retake immediately coming on out.
Whoa.
Earth Shatter not going to connect into anything as he got booped into the lower level, but we do have the Deadeye Tchaikovsky right on top of Chicken. Eat up almost the majority of that damage as Otter and Water gets killed onto Ikogo, and once again, the point flipped. Lefty tries to go for a charge, but he gets immediately punished by Otter and Water. Here's a Graviton Surge, connects onto both supports. They go down. GT Fu trying to keep this alive, but he's in the middle of the entire team. He is able to take out 2, but still, 93% on the board. It's going to be a last-ditch effort coming out from Rutgers to try to get us to the point.
But GT Fu might have actually been able to give his team a chance back in this map. Just kidding. Really hero play there, but now it's only 2 members. I don't think Rutgers can come back from this.
Out is gonna tilt him out. Tchaikovsky picks up Insane as Nintendo tries his best to get onto the point, but
Alright, Jamerson.
Austin takes the point first.
Tell me that isn't fun to cast.
1-0.
That was insane.
No. My issue is with City Center.
Okay, so the jump pad map. I see. You
Yeah.
just hate jump pads. That's cool.
No, it's
No,
not
that's
the
cool.
jump pad. It's just the geography of that particular map.
No, it's
With that
okay.
huge what's it called? Gazebo in the middle that everyone just kites around. It is one of the most annoying things to like see teams just like fight 3 scattered like 2v2s all on different ends of that gazebo.
We'll just politely ask the teams not to use the gazebo. Just go along the streets with the cars or the jump pad only.
Yeah, we're playing in the middle of the street, guys. Pharmacy coming out from both sides, though.
Yeah, that's not super surprising, at least in my experience at the professional level, but in terms of collegiate, it looks like they're adapting that well. Now, it's all about which Far lands the first few rockets. There's generally going to be a 2v2, Far Mercy versus Far Mercy, and then the 4v4 on the ground. Both are very important, though. It looks like Tchaikovsky actually is going for the ground battle instead. And then he gets taken out.
And he gets punished for that
Yep.
as Chicken and Waffles able to land that direct rocket. Talnori is going to be the next one to go down as Lefty taking out his counterpart. It's going to be a 2-for-1 exchange. And right now, Rutgers University and Scarlet Knights gaining control. It's almost over in their favor, and it is now. They're even going to get these staggered kills.
Yeah, see, the difficulty here in fighting Fire Mercy versus Fire Mercy and then having the 4v4 ground battles, the Fire Mercy, you can technically contribute to the ground battle like we saw Tchaikovsky attempt, but the issue is you can't die to the enemy fire. Doing so means that there's no reprieve, no way to kill the enemy fire, and Chicken Waffles just went off like you saw. So now Rutgers with all control and are going to be building quite a lot of their ultimates up to 2, so this is a great position for the Scarlet Knights to be in.
Like Kogo and Insane, both taking out Scott and Talnori, so now it's a 6v4 in favor of the Scarlet Knights as GT Fu takes out his counterpart. Two-man resurrection, missing one. Excellent, not going to be the recipient of that. And Chicken and Waffle still in the sky, going largely uncontested. Lefty able to focus down Regiciding, and now Tchaikovsky is in a really difficult spot here.
Yeah, so I was basically spectating Chicken and Waffles for that entire fight, and the entire fight, Chicken and Waffles was always over Tchaikovsky. Makes it so much easier to kill him, so much easier to get those direct rockets and clean up the fight, and the rest of the team sustains well enough so they stay alive. They even got out Regiciding's ultimate. So this is a fantastic position for Rutgers to be in, and now they're going to delay Diva 2. It might just be one more team fight that Austin cannot lose, or else the Scarlet Knights will take the round.
They have 5 ultimates to use for this defense, though. While Austin, we're only sitting on the Primal Rage along with the Sound Barrier.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Even if they engage with a Sound Barrier, the opposing team doesn't have a Sound Barrier. They still have to find their kills really quickly. Otherwise, they're just going to get out-sustained.
Yeah, they've also got that res at the ready, so they can just go for a tempo res if a really important target goes down. Sound Barrier does come on out. Here's a barrage from Chicken and Waffles, but it looks like just the spotlight's coming on out from both divas as the defense matrix tries to mitigate as much of that damage, but there's the res. They're fighting into a 4v4 now as Excellent finds the kill onto Nintendo, but with that self-destruct, it's gonna be Rutgers University maintaining control over this point, and with the death of Otter and Water, they're gonna go ahead and tie it up. Scott actually gets onto the point for now, but too little, too late. Sorry, Lucio. You are gonna die, and now gonna go on to point number 3. It's gonna be City Center.
So the setup on that last fight was really brilliant. We saw the defending Farah use her ultimate. Chicken Waffles used Barrage to solo kill the enemy Lucio, to solo kill Scott, instantly removing him from the team fight and also negating a Sound Barrier on that hero. That would look like a bad play because Chicken Waffles was punished and instantly killed by Tchaikovsky, but like you said, the tempo res from Nintendo 64 came in, and then all of a sudden, James, it's a 6v5 and you don't have Sound Barrier, so it's essentially no ultimates for the offense, for the attacking team there. And as a result, a dominant 100% victory for Scarlet Knights. And like you said, we are on to the City Center, aka the jump pad map. Let's see if the teams actually go jump pad side.
A lot of people do favor this control. We do have the pharmacy sides once again. This time, no Diva on the side of Austin.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky considering you're expecting both teams to run Fire Mercy to not go Diva, but it's a 4v4 now, another kill over, so a 4v3 for Rutgers. However, they're pretty low.
Just in the sky, this time winning the Farah battles. So the point is about to unlock, but there's still enough here to try and contest. As I say that though, Otter and Water able to focus down left. He goes down to GT Fu for his troubles though.
I want to give props to Regiciding because he has done a fantastic job of keeping Tchaikovsky alive for as long as possible. Tchaikovsky was taking a lot of damage from GT Fu in the area, but managed to stay alive throughout all of that, and as a result, it gave the pressure advantage over to Austin. However, respawns have come in, and Rutgers, they're not going down without a fight.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about. Look at this long drawn-out team fight. Talnori able to get the heal. Nintendo, and so now aerial superiority in favor of UT Austin. They will get the point first.
Aerial superiority. I have a bit of a history in the Air Force, so seeing heroes like Farah always makes me happy because if you control the air, you control the war, and that is the advantage that Tchaikovsky and the rest of Austin have right now, as they do take the point after a little bit of a back and forth and are firmly in control when it comes to ultimates as well as positioning. So the dive up, they're trying to force Soldier off, do so, but Otter finds the first frag.
Yeah, taking taking out G2 Fu. That is huge. Taking out one of the major DPSs on their side here. UT Austin pushing forward. Chalkowski, tactical visor coming out from Talnori, but Ikogo trying his best to eat that all up. Wasn't in time to save Insane though. Now it's all down to Ikogo, who will go down. 40% on the board for Austin.
And that was a fight that they really didn't commit many ultimates to. I'm seriously impressed, Jamerson, with how disciplined these collegiate teams are in terms of using their ultimates only 1 or 2 fights at a time, and a really delayed kill. Nicely done by Chalkowski there.
Yeah, GT went for that jump pad.
Yeah, he was in a bit of a rough spot.
Oh, this is my jam.
Alright, so now 65% as the Scarlet Knights try to make their ascent, but excellent, immediately taking out Chicken and Waffles. Chalkowski with the barrage, D-Mex Ikogo, and gets the kill onto the Winston, but we do have a nice 3-man resurrection coming out on the side of the Scarlet Knights. They haven't been able to transition this into any kills quite yet, but they have the sound barrier for that, for the follow-up.
Yeah, that's some really good coordination there. The sound barrier right after the 4-man resurrect, but so far, honestly, Rutgers haven't been able to find the kills. They need to get the point at this point. It's going to be a 99% fight anyway if they even win it, but it doesn't seem like they actually may be able to. Back and forth. It's a 2v2 on the point.
Talnori keeping this alive. He's got the tactical visor. Lefty is right on top of him, and Lefty will be able to complete that kill. And finally, they'll swap over the point, but they are on borrowed time here for this point. 99 to 5%.
I mean, they have control now. It is a control map, but they are in a rough spot. 1% is all Texas needs. Now you'll see aggressive holds here, or a more passive approach, which actually seems like Rutgers is doing. They're staying on the point, saying, okay, you can come into us, and then we'll take the fight on the point, and we'll kill you there. Excellent jumping in. Takes a lot of damage initially, though. Might go down.
Yeah, interesting swap off. Nintendo actually swapping off onto the Zenyatta here, so no longer do we have a farm of Rutgers, and they've gotten 2 kills. Regiciding going down. Chalkowski will be next without that pocket mercy. Rutgers doing a great job of dissuading that push.
Nicely done by Rutgers there. They dove very effectively. When Excellent went in, they put all their focus on Excellent. As soon as Excellent runs out, they swap the focus. That's exactly how you want to play these kind of compositions, and it just is so frustrating to play against if you are trying to deal with it. Now, Texas have a few more resources here, and let's see if they try to change up their strategy, because everyone is defending on that upper bridge.
Just trying to play PO4, the DPS and the supports up top. Once again, Excellent. Getting focused on down, and Lefty immediately changes his focus. He's on top of Scott. Chalkowski comes in, 3-man barrage. The res wasn't even needed. They're starting to win the team fight. 99%. It's being contested now, but Nintendo and Insane, just the supports here. Sound barrier came out. That's going to keep Nintendo alive for now, but here's the Transcendence, but Insane is nowhere near to receive the heals, and they might have just done it. Send this, or to gain the advantage here on Oasis.
Yep. Jamerson Chalkowski's 3-man barrage there was absolutely incredible. Not only did he pick up the kills, but he also picked up the kills before the support ultimates were used, so just blindsiding Rutgers defense, and you can't let that happen in that situation. They had the positioning, but they simply gave it up, and now Austin have control of the point. They just need to boot this Lucio off or kill him, and that's exactly what Chalkowski does. 2-1 up in this best-of-5 control map.
Yeah, sheer ultimate advantage there coming out for Austin, so now they are going to lead 2-1 up against the Scarlet Knights.
And that was, you know, kind of sloppy there by the Scarlet Knights defense. Rutgers definitely had the advantage, and that's kind of a problem you see if you decide to make a passive defense where you're baiting the opponent to dive onto you. You cannot let them sort of jump on you with those ultimates, because otherwise the time to kill in Overwatch varies. But when you're getting hit by something like a flower barrage, you can die incredibly quickly, and a lot of your team will die incredibly quickly. So that's exactly what Austin did to their advantage, and the Longhorns really well done now. If they can win this map here on University, they'll tie this best-of-3 series 1-1.
back to university. Can't escape it, guys. Sorry. But we are having a triple tank setup coming out on the side of Austin, while we've got that 2-2-2 Korean-style dive on the side of Rutgers. Yeah, that flank, you gotta be careful with GT2 getting to the backline. He has to back off as the Bionade did land onto him.
Yeah, so far the tank composition actually sustained very well, nading everyone just by getting that biotic nade off. And the pin onto GT2. Wow, excellent. Doing fantastic on this Reinhardt. And off of that, University of Texas Austin will be able to take the point. And maybe, just maybe, take another step into tying this series up. That
thing is,
jeez, that pin was nuts.
Kaiser?
Yeah, like 2 lands of pin. Incredible.
Alright. Now, we do have a tactical visor ready for both 76 is going to be Chicken Waffles that pops his first, but once again, they did not deal with the Divas, so Tchaikovsky eats that all up, and Otter and Water is going to have a free one. He's even got the Nano Boost, starting to push forward. He's got all the support in the world, even receiving the Zarya projected barrier there. Otter and Water with 3 kills. Going to clean up this team fight, no problem, forcing them back. 40% on the board, and Texas just 60 away from taking this map.
Simple and clean there by the defense. You know, they had their ultimate combo, they did it, they executed it, and honestly, the offense didn't have anything in terms of strategy or resource to try and counter that. Now, they are going to come back with the sound barrier. They're going to use the pulse bomb and connect onto Excellent, so that opens the fight off very well.
Yeah, now 6v5, make that a 6v4. Self-destruct comes out along with the Tranquility, but it's not going to be enough to save Insane's life. Otter and Walker is getting jumped on by Lefty's Primal Rage right now. It's going to be Ikogo that gets the kill onto Scott on the point, though. Ikogo in the middle of 3 is still going to be able to allow Chicken Waffles to come in, pick up 2 kills. Now they're able to swap the point back very shortly. They can just clean up the final members, but Otter and Water coming in. He will go down, though, for his efforts, and now it's just down to Red deciding he finally goes down, but the damage has been done. Blows have been struck. 91% on the board for Austin.
Absolutely. Rutgers are going to need to control this. Essentially, it's a similar situation to last round where Austin had a fantastic start and just needed the one team fight to come back and win this. They're going around the side, using natural cover, instantly blow up GT2, and there goes the Earth Shatter.
Earth Shatter only connects onto Insane, but that's enough time for Excellent to come in with that charge here. Self-destruct to try and fight back, but as soon as he gets out of the mech, Otter once again with that tactical visor picks up 2 kills, and they're immediately going to get this retake. 8% on the board. GT Fu pulse bomb out, doesn't quite connect, and he will go down for his efforts, and he was probably the last person to try to be able to get onto this point. Insane trying his best, but the body block just too strong for Austin. They're going to tie up the series 1-1.
Very nicely done, just storming in there, giving GT Fu no chance to respond. And when you're running that tank composition, you're not expecting to find those early picks, but when you do, you just have so much HP to sustain through the fight. Gonna take a look at the play of the game. It is Otter and Water on the Soldier 76 this round, just laying down so much damage. His positioning is excellent too, because he's playing in and out of the geography behind his Reinhardt shield and is able to get a lot of frags in that little clip. So they tied up Rutgers versus Texas. We've been waiting for this duel for months, since the beginning of the TCS, and so far it's absolutely delivered.
Yeah, these teams found themselves on the opposite sides of the brackets, weren't able to actually match up against each other. UT made it, or excuse me, Rutgers and Austin both knocked out during the semifinals, but man, this has been such a great match so far. One of the biggest strengths on the side of Austin was that they're running that Zarya, and Zarya a direct counter to the Diva. So whenever they got that Soldier 76 ultimate up, they were able to demech the Diva and just get a free one off. So great target selection coming out from them. They knew their win condition and you know, played it to a T. Now, it looks like map number 3, our deciding map, is going to be Route 66. Regiciding just trolling a little bit in there in chat. Whoa, didn't see that one coming, but the Scarlet Knights looked fantastic playing up against... oh, I've already forgotten who the first match of the day was. Oh, Berkeley on Route 66, where they were able to hold them and make sure they didn't get the first checkpoint here. Remember, this is the winners semifinals. The winner of this will move on to the winners finals to play tomorrow, and then await their opponents for the grand finals.
And James, if I'm not mistaken, it is a double elim bracket, right?
Mm-hmm. So the lower bracket match is still going on right now. I accidentally closed the brackets. Whoops. But it was interesting to see the teams that are in there. I mean, it kind of looked like a, you have. If you've ever seen a Smash bracket, that's what it looked like. Just some of the top teams all in the lower bracket having to make that run back.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting the psychology of double elim tournaments, because some teams actually, or some players even, like in one-on-one games, just play better when they're in the lower bracket. The pressure is a way for them to like grow, to like express themselves better. When you're in winner's side, you're like, all right, man, I can still lose, it's fine. But when you're in loser's bracket, lower bracket, you're like, holy crap, I gotta come back here, I gotta win, and I'm just gonna make this insane run. And especially in Smash, and as well as other games, there are these great fairy tale stories of teams making incredibly fantastic runbacks through the lower bracket.
Just waiting for the final ready up. As we move on to the deciding map, it is going to be Route 66 between UT Austin and the Scarlet Knights Rutgers University. Both teams with some definite strengths. Looks like the tank battle won by Austin, but the dive battle being largely won by Rutgers University.
Yeah, so we'll see if that trend is going to continue in the next match, because Route 66, we've definitely seen some tank compositions there defending on the gas station Big Earls. We've also seen some dive compositions. Some teams are attempting to defend initially out of spawn, in that train section of the map, very close to where the attacking team will come out of spawn to get as many fights as possible. But just due to the change between point 1 and point 3, point 1, and point 2 as well, kind of open, a lot of area to fight, and point 3 where it's a lot closer in space, we're probably going to see quite a few hero swaps, as well as just core composition swaps in terms of the team compositions and their objectives.
Yeah, we've been seeing this trend on these escort / hybrid maps, where once you do get to that final stretch of the map, teams will swap off onto things like triple tank, making sure they have a Reinhardt and a Zarya.
Right, play for the combos.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult, to play the dive and get the flanking routes, because the last stretches generally don't allot for that.
Yeah, and also the volatility of dive is a factor to consider as well. Not only is the geography more difficult to play dive on, but dive is like a high-risk, high-reward composition type, Whereas tanks, if you're stacking tanks, it's a little bit simpler to execute as a team. So if you're running dive on point 3, dive defense, and you lose 1 or 2 heroes, the opposing team is going to get a ton of mileage. Whereas if you lose maybe 1 hero on a tank defense on point 3, it's not that big of a loss. So we'll see whether or not these adaptations come into play. Talnori swaps from the Widowmaker to the Zarya, so it looks like they're going to be setting up a 3-man defense with D.Va, Zarya, and a Reinhardt on Big Earls. So instead of having a Roadhog or anything, this is a very purely defense-oriented composition. You keep Otter and Water alive. That's your primary DPS, and you stick close together. And you're going to be strong in terms of sustain. Maybe not have that much damage, but you can certainly live through a dive.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah, already looks like we are going to have that 2-2-2 dive composition coming out from the side of Rutgers University.
And basically just look for the dive. If the dive on Big Earls separates the defense, they're going to be in trouble. If they're able to stick together, they're fine. Or they just get instantly gimped.
Yeah, and that's such a huge target takeout. Excellent first going on down. So without the Reinhardt, they don't have that extra little bit of peel that could have used in the back line, and now they're just cleaning house on the side of Rutgers University.
I don't think the defense expected that at all. Reinhardt was instantly destroyed. The damage there coming out of I mean, it must have been Nintendo as well as Chicken and Waffles, Lefty, all at the same time. Burst him down. No chance for the Biotic Grenade to heal him. No chance for the Zarya bubble to heal him. Just instantly destroyed. And then the snowball effect coming out of the offense here. Very well done. A perfect opening for the members of Rutgers.
All right, so now they've got 5 minutes and 22 seconds to make it through the streets phase here.
That's so long.
Yeah, that's
insane.
plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, you see kind of the weakness of defending up big girls now is you only get that one team fight, and now GT Fu with the pulse bomb coming around the backside looking for Scott. Can he land it?
Oh, he gets it onto Excellent, and once again, he's the first target to go down. GT Fu finds a second onto Scott, and they're just falling like dominoes. They do get one constellation kill onto left. Might not be enough. Talnori now getting demeched, and they're just cleaning house once again. GT Fu putting them all the way back to spawn. And the sole remaining member is going to be Regiciding, who does actually make it out to safety.
Fantastic setup there. Well done by GT Fu to land that pulse bomb, enabling the fight. He chases down Regiciding all the way, so he's going to be a very late spawn in this team fight. And now, look at the offensive ultimates. They have 5 ults in their war chest. The defense is going to be missing Lucia for this fight, and James, it's going to be a tough task coming back from this.
And it's so hard to get out when you have like these tanks that can grab the high ground here. Immediately, that sound barrier, it does actually connect onto the majority of them. But here's a technical visor, and great sleep touch to actually shut it down. But Ikogo comes in with the self-destruct, takes out Regiciding, and now, once again, the offense just winning these team fights so handedly. There's been almost no resistance coming out from the side of Austin.
There's literally been none. Not a single time since this payload has started moving has it really stopped. Another 5 minutes to cap point 3. That's nuts. You know, the defense has lost every team fight so far. They've got to search for something deep in their soul to come back from this, James. Because just as Otter and Water dies, ooh, good sleep on the GT2. They equal the hero score there. It's still tough. Excellent is going in here, but that's really dangerous 5v5.
Oh, great play coming out from Ikogo. So when that Reinhardt dropped low, he just drops the defense matrix to make sure that Scott can't heal him up, and the rest of his team is able to up. And now Talnori, though, gets the D-Mech onto Ikogo, but Nintendo answering right on back, taking out Chalkowski.
Yeah, the utility there of Defense Matrix showing up and coming up huge. GT Fu forced to recall back. Hook will go wide, and the payload is going to be blocked a little bit. Fantastic shadow there, but it's only on the tanks, and here comes a flanking tack visor.
Yeah, Chicken Waffles getting so much space out of this team there. Talnori is going to be the next one to go down. Now Otter Water has to be careful. Regiciding, just trying his best to delay as long as possible, but still 4 minutes are left on the clock. Excellent now swapping off onto that Diva, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, I love that play by Chicken and Waffles. A very cheeky tack visor coming around the flanks, using Soldier's sprint advantage to just come back, and then while the team was fighting up the front line, he comes from the back line. Now Ultimate's coming out from the defense. Texas doing whatever they can, using everything they can at the very last minute. But even if they win this fight, James, 3.5 minutes remaining. And honestly, I don't know if they're going to win this fight. It's still looking kind of close.
There's only 3 members remaining. Lefty's largely out of the fight. He's lower than half health, and Auto and Water go down soon. And so, finally, the defense established themselves here. Yeah, moved on to the warehouse.
That's debatably, though, the first team fight they've won. 6 minutes into the match.
It's been a rough go of it, but this is where, you know, teams really tend to find themselves able to reestablish themselves.
They better.
Right now. There are 3 ultimates for the offense. Rutgers University, they've got that pulse bomb, they've got the nano boost along with that self-destruct, and self-destruct is how they're going to start this off. It's going to force them to spread out. Ikogo finds the kill onto Chalkowski as Chicken and Waffles cleans up Talnori, and now the offense just pushing forward completely unabated. Excellent, trying his best to delay on Cart, but another clean team fight coming up for the Scarlet Knights here. Chalkowski tries to get in with that Tracer. Last-ditch effort coming out. Talnori and Regiciding on the point, but they're getting focused down so quickly. Regiciding will go down to Ikogo, but the defense is starting to trickle in, but it's not going to be enough. There's a tactical visor, and that's what you want to finish out the last final stretch here as the mech does get forced out. Soundbearer even committed along with the Primal Rage, forcing them all back. Excellent, gonna go down. Pulse Bomb connects onto Red deciding. Insane coming in but the double kill. And that should do it. Rutgers University completing out Route 66 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left.
A bit of a stall at the end there, but honestly, that offense was absolutely fantastic. The most important thing in these dive compositions, James, is how you open up that first frag, that first fight, that first engage is really one of the most crucial moments for any composition, but specifically for the dive style comp that we are seeing the members of Rutgers run. And honestly, throughout that map, their first engage was perfect every time.
I kind of want to go back, and if I had instant replay, I wanted to see what happened there on Big Earls. I've been playing with a lot of the collegiate players on just, you know, running into them on competitive. And some of the Ana players, they have these set nades where they can just throw it up and land it onto the majority of anyone defending on Big Earls. I wonder if that actually happened or if it was just the sheer pressure of the dive.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think it was just the Zenyatta in combination, because I don't actually think it was an Ana, right?
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was Zenyatta, yeah. Yeah, so they just discorded and bursted down the Reinhardt really quickly, which, I mean, you know, that's just as effective, if not more effective, than a set biotic grenade. And I'm honestly expecting, I think both teams were surprised at how quickly we saw the Reinhardt go down. But from then on, it was a bit of a wash for the defense. Now, we'll see what exactly Austin can do here, because they're not out of this just yet. It's kind of an 11th hour situation, but they can come back here with a very solid offense coming up, and it's got to come up quickly. Like, they can't lounge around too much, because 2 minutes of the time makes quite a bit of time for Rutgers. So taking a look at the comps, using a Hanzo there to scout into train and make sure that no one's trying a cheesy defense really far up. But look at this, so sneaky around the side. They're gonna wait for the opportune moment, and the Rutgers will go in.
This is the meta cheese coming out from them at this point. They're pushing forward. They got spotted out by Talnori, though. They have to be, because they are in really tight quarters there with the Genji and a Winston. But Zenyatta, Scott, goes down to lefty.
Yeah, and that's going to be really nice for the defense. That being said, though, the offense is going to have the closer spawn, and they are picking up a couple of frags. Winston's shield on the payload, protecting them for as long as they can. But GT Fu gets the frag out to Tchaikovsky.
He does get jumped on by Excellent, but he will be able to make it out to the safety of his team. Talnori has to be careful, doesn't want to lose his mech here. He's going to be able to stay alive for now, getting the passive healing from Regiciding along with the cart. But during that time, Insane and Chicken and Wolf is coming on in. You're going to be able to force the mech out finally. Talnori is going to be forced off the point as Regiciding gets hunted down by Chicken and Waffles.
GT Fu leading the kills there, and then enabling Rutgers to come back and win the team fight. It's going to be really rough, because now that's already a minute and a half basically passed. And again, they need to not only cap, but they need to cap with, you know, significant time to spare if they want to come back and potentially equalize this. But right now, it's Rutgers with firm control, but Tchaikovsky finding the first kill onto Insane. This could be their chance.
Insane just fighting off more than he could chew at this point. We've got the Primal Rage coming up from Excellent. He's on to both supports, trying to take out Nintendo, as we do have that Nano Boost coming out to Chicken and Waffles. It's going to allow him to get the kill onto Tchaikovsky, but still, he's super low health. He's down to 1 HP here. It's Excellent is just trying his best to take him out. The Biotic field able to keep him alive for now, and the defense coming back in to try and recontest, but during that time, GT Fu tries to hunt down the Winston. Regiciding will clean him up.
So instead of trying to come back and reset the team fight, it looks like the defense is just committing to delaying as long as possible, and that's not actually that bad of an idea, considering there's still a lot of payload to push for the offense. Lefty's the last remaining member. He's going to go into Primal Rage, and now Nintendo 64 is coming back. That being said, the Discord Orb onto Nintendo, he gets taken down pretty quickly. Still alive for now, but it's Tchaikovsky getting the kill onto Nintendo. Transcendence is forced away from the offense as well, so now Rutgers gain an ultimate advantage with that delay as well. This is going very well for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, they're just burning off so much time side of Austin here. They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and the cart has just been a few meters away for like the last minute. Now they will get the checkpoint. They get the additional minute 30 here, or 2 minutes here. But now they're left with 3 minutes and 38, trying to push through the streets phase. And they aren't able to push forward and try to force out a less than dominant, control of the high ground here.
So if we compare the time each team had at the start of the second phase, it was about a 90-second advantage over to Rutgers. And both teams are running a dive composition, but it just seems like Rutgers is having the better time of it, coordinating it better.
Well, Pulse Bomb comes out. It's not going to quite connect. Excellent is able to... Now the offense really starting to kicking it into second gear here. Hunted down by the Winston. He will be able to sprint away, gets booped on over to the other end. Finally, he gets hunted down by the Beast.
Unable to get the kill to Chicken and Waffles. Insane taken down by Otter and Water, and now they're going to be able to push the field up for quite a bit of time. And the defense is going to be pretty staggered as well, so I would expect members of Austin to take this fight. GT Food's tried to delay them for as long as possible, and he's done a good job without dying as well, so they might actually come back and contest this. We'll have to see.
Yeah, but we do have the Dragon Blade coming on out. Chicken and Waffles push forward with that tactical visor and the nano boost, but it gets eaten up by Talnori's defense matrix. During that time, it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Chicken and Waffles does finally go down. We've got another Primal Rage. This time it's going to be Lefty. He gets the kill onto Scott. That's both supports down by the Scientist, and now Talnori going to get demeched here. Self-destruct does come out, but it's not going to catch anyone. Now it's going to be self-destruct coming out from the defense. And Ikogo, once again, every time he goes for these self-destruct, there's only been like 2 or 3 occasions where his self-destruct has not gotten a kill.
Yeah, he's been fantastic so far. And that fight opened up with a double support ultimate used by Texas. They use Sound Barrier and Transcendence at the exact same time, so the effective value they get out of both ultimates is reduced. That's not the kind of coordination that you can have at this point in the match, Javerson. They are 90 seconds down with essentially no power play ultimates. This is going to be so hard for the Longhorns.
And luckily, though, the defense don't have much behind it. They just lost GT Food. They've got the man advantage for Austin, and they're jumping on top of Insane right now, who's already down to half age. Reprioritize their targets, unfortunately. And now he's alive for now. But during the meantime, the offense finds 3 kills, and they're starting to push forward. And saying the only one here to really try and contest, Chicken and Waffles is just trying to back off. GT Food, though, on this Tracer, Slippery is going to have to commit that recall. Tries to get on one more time, but the point will get taken here, so they will be able to move forward onto the warehouse portion.
Otter and Water says, not today, takes down his rival Tracer early on in that team fight, and as a result, Texas are able to get the payload past the checkpoint. I want to point out their name, by the way, the UT Battlebabes. Classy, gentlemen, very classy. Now, Tchaikovsky's the person to look out for Texas with that Dragon Blade available. Doesn't have an Ana, so he's not going to be able to combo with anything, but the dive is going to be so strong right now.
Oh yeah, they found out 3 members on top of that semi-truck, and they've already cleaned them. The Dragon Blade, Tchaikovsky's with the right clicks will clean up Lefty, and they're going to go back onto the payload here. That was a great execution coming out from Austin.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they've needed in this series, in this match so far, and you know what? Even if it's late, the hero always comes in at the last second, and that last moment coordination, a perfect 3-man dive, enabled the payload to get quite a bit of distance now, and Texas could win it. That being said, Otter and Water is dead. It's a 65 with a sound barrier advantage over to the members of the defense. Oh boy, Jamerson, Texas is going down. They could be wiped right here, and that means only 1 team fight remaining.
Yeah, they are able to retreat with 3 members here, so they got the 1 team fight left, really. But so many ultimates ready for Austin, or excuse me, for Rutgers for this next team fight, and really high impact ones too. They've got that nano visor at the ready.
Yeah, so look at the positioning here. They're trying to set up a really sneaky play and make sure their soldier stays alive as long as possible. Otter and Water is not going to be able to hit that pulse bomb, and now the fight will break out. Take a look. Where's Chicken and Waffles? How is he doing? If he's alive and uses that attack visor for big value, oh, he doesn't even need it. Instantly takes down Otter, and the members of Rutgers are mowing down the members of Texas.
Tactical Visor did come out until Nori was nowhere near to try and defense matrix that up. He's on the hunt for more. Self-destruct comes out, but it's not going to connect on anything. Nori is just delaying the inevitable. Is going to go down, and that actually puts his team in a much more difficult spot as he's getting delayed now.
Yeah, he's going to be delayed, and Texas can definitely contest this one more time, but the long arms, oh my goodness. Chicken and Waffles has such amazing tracking.
Dragon Blade does come on out. Nintendo is going to go down, but he's not able to get the reset quite yet for the third kill. He does get the kill onto Chicken and Waffles. Sound Barrier comes up for now, but Ikogo and GT Fu are still here to try and contest for as long as possible. GT Fu dropped really low, down to about 10 HP. It's going to be excellent. See the Regiciding that comes in to clean that up.
Here comes the stall comp. Chicken Waffles on the main now, gets the wall up, needs to go into shift to keep himself alive, but actually Jamerson off of that Tchaikovsky Dragon Blade, they're gonna be able to take it.
Yep, there's only the Diva left. Transcendence is gonna get used. He's just booped back. Ikogo will be able to booster pack back onto the point. Lefty just biding his time. Will jump as soon as Ikogo goes down. This is the truest of stalls, but no one there left. And that is gonna be UT Austin completing out the map.
You know that moment all semester long where you're like, I haven't turned in my final project yet. Yeah, I can put it off. I can delay it. I can delay it to the very last moment. That's kind of what the Longhorns did right there. They're able to cap an overtime, which means because it is a pure payload map, an escort map, they're going to get a minute to try this offense again. That being said, though, Jamerson, with that minute up against the 3 minutes, 11 seconds that Rutgers is going to have on their offense, they've got to make quite a bit of distance.
It's definitely a monumentous task at this point. I mean, when you're already 2 minutes and 11 seconds behind in time difference, it's not unheard of, but it is definitely difficult. And especially when you're dealing with this 2-2-2 composition that's so volatile. Lefty has the opportunity to come in with the Primal Rage if it gets into overtime, knocking everyone off. Same thing with Ikogo. If his booster rockets don't knock everyone off, he's got that self-destruct that he could just plop right on top of the payload and force them off. So this is going to be a very difficult task for them.
And remember how overtime was changed quite a while ago, where the longer you're in overtime, the faster that bar depletes. So the moment that the offense is in overtime, like you said, they have to keep everyone on there and make sure that not only can they not die, but they also have to make sure that they aren't booped. That being said, it's a monumental task, but it's not out of reach. It's not impossible.
Alright, so they did a little bit of scouting this time, legislating, using the arrow. They were able to get some decent information. Lefty, with some surf map antics here, is going to go down. Actually, is able to back out, dropped really low to about a quarter of his health. And once again, Insane getting caught out by Excellent. He is going to be able to kite back just in time, but Ikogo does get team-backed. Tchaikovsky falls along with Scott, and now things are looking bad. They need to back out now to have another opportunity.
GT Fu was 2v1ing the supports of Austin, while the rest of Austin's team was trying to fight the frontline fight, but they weren't able to because they didn't really have effective heals. So now they have 8 seconds remaining. They can still make it to the point and still contest here, but the advantage in Rutgers' favor.
1 second left. Point is being contested right now. Pulse Bomb comes out. Lefty drops low, and he will fall to Scott. So now they've got the man advantage, and they're jumping on top. Front line, Tchaikovsky and Excellent are, but they're such low health. Tchaikovsky will go down. Chicken and Waffles pushes forward with that tactical visor, but he's firing it right into Nori. So great positioning coming out from both the tanks. They get the Diva Defense Matrix along with the Winston barrier there just to keep everyone alive. And so now, on borrowed time, they're pushing this payload forward.
Scott had a great play there on Chicken and Waffles where he took him down with a headshot cleanly done, and that might have been the game because Chicken and Waffles was in tack visor mode, which would have done so much damage. But the defense is going to be able to come back here, so Rutgers, again, they just need to push them off the payload for a moment.
Yeah, time. It's been in overtime for so long. Take a look at this. Primal Rage comes out from Lefty, and he just actually zones Scott out throughout the entirety of it. Destruct coming up from Nori, but once again, not quite connecting. Excellent, though, will be able to take out Nintendo. Now Tchaikovsky with the Dragon Blade finds the second kill, gets another reset, will get the third on the Lefty. Ikogo comes in for a 2-man self-destruct, but it's not going to be enough.
Payload moves on. No extra time added, but they're going to have those forward spawns, and the defending spawns are pushed very far back. So far, Texas have to be proud, honestly. They've had a really good offense, but they want to continue this momentum. Scott and Otter have been on fire this entire match, but now it's up to Excellent with that Primal Rage to get a kill if possible. If not, delay and push back the enemy as far away as possible.
We're able to push out as 6 on the defense. The lefty jumps in on first, and now the rest of the team in tow. Chalkowski brought down really low. He's got the biotic nade on him. He's not receiving any healing, but Ikogo is going to be demected. He's going to be the first frag here, trying his best to juke, but he can't juke the Tesla cannon. Excellent, coming up huge so far. He's got the Primal Rage once again, diverting his attention onto Nintendo. Will be able to swat him out, and now Insane getting batted back. Chicken and Waffles just looking on in horrors. Both of the supports are going down.
Oh boy, looking on in horror indeed. Austin's... James, we were 3 minutes ago saying that this was going to be a monumental task. Austin is making it look easy. This has been clean as cake. Oh boy, stick onto the Winston, and no contests so far, really. No strong one from Rutgers' defense, and this has been fantastic for 1 minute of time by the Longhorns. And can they actually take this momentum and go all the way?
They do have the tactical visor on the side of Rutgers here, but it's going to be quite a while before they get the nano boost. Yeah, and trying to get through both the Transcendence and the Soundbreaker is going to be a difficult task, but difficult task was pushing it all the way here. Comes out on the side of Austin here. They haven't been able to convert any kills yet, but it's going to be GT Fool with a 2-man pulse bomb, taking out both the supports.
So that might be the round, but boy oh boy, the Longhorns gotta feel good about that one. They basically made it 2/3 of the way through and a little bit of change with only 1 minute. Their initial offense on that point, or just throughout that entire round, was better than their offense in the last round. So they're adapting to their mistakes. And one thing I do want to point out was from the get-go, they expected the same hold that the members of Rutgers did. The same hold as the first round, and they took advantage of that very well. I mean, the first fight was a little bit rough, but they were able to come back. They still had time remaining, and then were able to basically ride that payload all the way through. Now, the pressure is on Rutgers instead of Texas.
Well,
now the roles are reversed.
The roles are reversed, but in their initial push coming out from Rutgers University, it took them about 30 minutes to get to, well, where the payload is standing now, or ended for the Austin push. So they might be able to recreate that exact same kind of push.
Well, they have to. I mean, at the very least, they want to use the first 2 minutes to get the payload, you know, past the first point for sure, and maybe even about halfway through the second, because they have the inherent advantage of having 2 more minutes than Texas did on their offense. If they're able to recreate their offense on the first point, sure, but we've already seen the Longhorns come back and adapt, and I expect them to do the same thing on defense. And as a matter of fact, instead of the tank composition they ran before, they're deciding to fight fire with fire, fighting dive with dive.
Yeah, it's going to be the 2-2-2 dive, and this time it's the 2-2-2 dive, but Chicken and Waffles going to be on Soldier 76, so there's going to be an extra member getting
Scott
line on the defense.
Scott forced off the big girls, taken down, taken low, but the 2 kills in retaliation from the defense. Now Insane is the focus. Actually, so well done. Scott did eventually go down, but he kited effectively, and Rutgers is getting mowed down as the kill feed lights up blue. Good early start for the Longhorns.
They were not expecting it on the side of Rutgers to see this dive composition come out. But great adjustment coming out from the Longhorns here, coming out from UT Austin, going for that 2-2-2 dive. Chalkowski and Excellent doing a great job of focusing down their targets together. We see like teams kind of play these dives differently, right? They try to go 4-for-1, but instead they went for this 2v1 style where pairs of divers went after different targets, and it paid off for them, but it's not going to pay off for them here as Chalkowski goes down first, but Ikogo gets demeched and GT goes down.
That being said, though, look at Excellent's Winston Barrier placement. Basically zoned all the damage out. He has Primal Rage, so he's going to go bananas right now, trying to get the kill on the Chicken and Waffles. May not even get that
gets
much
the
of delay.
knockoff onto Ikogo.
Oh my goodness. Fantastic play from the Winston. We were talking about how Excellent is a new addition to the roster, but Jamerson, he fits very well.
Hey, he's doing a fantastic job so far. We saw it during the push also. Now, 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock for Rutgers University. Pulse bomb comes out. Otter and Water just putting in work for Austin.
Oh, let's break it.
Yeah, and Regiciding is able to get that sound barrier off, so it's potentially... Oh man, he forces that. No, the ultimate coordination there. Sound barrier and transfuse at the same time. Jamerson, maybe Rutgers wins that they certainly would expect to with the ultimates they used. However, over 2 minutes have passed. They just used both their support ultimates. Texas is in a great position now to end this map, potentially on the next fight.
Yeah, if you're Austin, you're absolutely ecstatic getting those ultimates out. Chalkowski, he's got the Dragon Blade at the ready. There's absolutely nothing to counter him.
Oh, they might fight this.
Yeah, they should. They should.
Absolutely.
There's nothing to counter. And they've got the Dragon Blade, they've got the Transcendence, so Chalkowski, no threat of going down. He finds the initial kill onto Nintendo. Insane goes down. Chalkowski onto Chicken and Waffles, takes him out. Ikogo, though, once again, same spot with that self-destruct, gets 2 kills, answering on back.
Makes it a 4v4 though, and ultimately being used on both sides. Actually, only 3 members now remaining of the offense. Rutgers forced out of their Diva mech. Diva goes down as Ikogo is then excellent, lighting up the kill feed once again, and we are essentially in overtime, folks. Rutgers needs to maintain control of the point, but they haven't even gotten the point past the first checkpoint. Texas.
Stay alive.
They're gonna do it.
Down. Chalkowski coming on in, gets the kill onto Nintendo. It looks like they might have done it. GT Food trying his best, but he's on a sliver of health. Chicken and Waffles comes in though. Great kill with the Helix rocket onto Otter and Water. Excellent
so
trying
close.
to keep alive. Scott, goes down. They will be able to clean up. Rutgers University keeping this alive for now, but they are on borrowed time.
Yeah, they're keeping this alive for now. It took them 3.5 minutes to get the point. Not the second point, not the end of the map, the first point. And now it's a reverse situation entirely. The moment Texas is able to wipe or even simply push Rutgers off, the Scarlet Knights are in the losers bracket, and we are going to see Texas in winners finals.
Careful to get Doba. Chalkowski gets the first kill on Nintendo. Tactical advice. Come on out for Chicken and Waffles. He picks up 1 before he goes down. Right now, it is gonna be Rutgers University in the driving seat. They force out the mech of Ikogo, but somehow Excellent and Otter and Water just fighting out this team fight. Scott now receiving the next focus. He will finally go down to Insane, but Lefty will go down for the truffle. Now Excellent still has that primal rage. There's the pulse bomb. He's dropped down to below half HP. Somehow Otter and Water Excellent just staying here alive for so long. They will finally get deflected.
That's totally
still,
okay,
this
though.
payload. Yeah.
That's totally okay. They use Excellence ultimate there, which isn't a big deal, but they got out the enemy sound barrier, and Nintendo doesn't have Transcendence. So they have a 5 ultimate advantage, and there's only 2 currently available for the offense. The offense does have positioning right now, but they need to use it expertly, otherwise they're going to be overwhelmed by the sound barrier and other ults coming out of Texas.
Self-destructs coming out from both Divas. Telnori connects onto 2, and Ikogo only gets 1, but it's enough to force them off the point, and that's gonna be Austin walking away with the victory. Congratulations, they're moving on to the winners finals, which will be taking place tomorrow, and Rutgers dropped down to the lower brackets.
And what a surprising win there. Not surprising in the sense that we didn't expect this, but surprising because throughout the early part of the match, throughout really the entire series, it was always Rutgers University with the advantage. They even get the play of the game from GT2's Tracer. That being said though, that final push by the Longhorns was so fantastic. They were able to take Oasis, able to come back and take Route 66, and they'll be moving on our winner's side. Fantastic performance.
Yeah, Excellent really stepping it up there towards the end, and you know, that adaptation made by UT Austin, no longer running that Reinhardt, which honestly, up against the dive, Reinhardt is one of the worst heroes to be on. Individually, as a player, you just feel so helpless. and in the composition, he just doesn't work out. He has very little to offer once the dive comes on in. So I love that they went for that 2-2-2 dive, decided to actually turn the screws on Rutgers University instead of being the recipients of the dive. And so congratulations. We will see them tomorrow in our winners bracket finals.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that matchup because, like you said, the adaptation, they had something that really wasn't working and they decided to change it. That kind of mentality, the ability to change what you're doing on the fly, is something that you don't even see from some of the top teams at the professional level. So for a collegiate team to be able to have the presence of mind to swap when they need to fix what wasn't working is very impressive, and it serves them well, and it's served them well so far.
Now, honestly, like it brings a tear to my heart to see these players really grow as individual Overwatch players. They're looking so much better in terms of their individual mechanics, but their team play is that much more impressive. When we started off the TCS season, it was kind of rinse and repeat. A lot of teams just, going with that, with the Beyblade Nano Reaper composition, but now they're able to coordinate on something as difficult as, the 2-2-2 dive, the triple DPS dive, and being largely successful with it, really rounding out their usage of ultimates, right? Getting the right rotations off and everything. They have grown so much, and I expect really great things coming out for them, and I am excited for the next season of TCS.
Yeah, especially for the guys from the University of Texas Austin. They made it all the way to the semifinals of the TCS, so they were in the money and they were dominating their region throughout the season. But they suffered a pretty embarrassing loss, a 2-0 against the side of Cal. And, James, it looks like they've come back stronger, better, like you said, not only individually, but also as a team. They are here to play, and you're absolutely right. So far, the Training Grounds has had an incredible season, but heading into the TCS next season, it is going to be an exciting time.
All right. Thanks for everybody that tuned in to our matches today. We will be back tomorrow, I believe, at the same time. Let me double check the schedule. It looks like we'll be starting an hour later. We'll be starting off on winners round 4. And then we will move down to the losers bracket and then the grand final. So we'll be starting at noon tomorrow Pacific. So that'll be 3 p.m. Eastern. Should be some exciting games. I mean, we have all of our teams that made the top 4 of TCS. Rutgers University securing their spot in the winners finals here. They're looking absolutely great.
Austin.
Seamus, excuse me. Yeah, Austin. I was looking at the screen. I was looking straight at Scarlet Knights. But Seamus, before we sign off, do you have any final words?
No, I'm just, I've been following the Training Ground season a little bit, but I've been pretty busy with the work, so I have been able to hop in. So thank you very much for, letting me jump in here. I'll be on the casting desk tomorrow with James as well, and I'm looking forward to watching the matches with you guys.
All right. And once again, Jet Set Jamerson here. You can find me on just at Jet Set Jamerson. That's Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, and Snapchat. I don't really use it, but it's there. Once again, thank you all. We will see you guys tomorrow. Once again, it is going to be 12 p.m. Pacific. Have a great day.